after the war. As we enter the climax and approach the ending of the Alvarez War arc, many people within the Fairy Tail community ask questions such as, what is next for Fairy Tail? Is there going to be anything after Alvarez? Is Fairy Tail, the series itself, going to be ended after Alvarez? But overall, the main question that I'm hearing circulating around the Fairy Tail community, considering the ending of Alvarez is approaching us very, very soon, is what is going to happen after the war. One of the biggest questions when it comes to this topic is if Fairy Tail will actually reach its ending following the Alvarez War, and to that I say no. I highly doubt the Fairy Tail will actually end after Alvarez. I mean, I can see why someone would see that to be a possibility. However, personally, I really doubt that the Alvarez War will mark the very ending of Fairy Tail overall. So with that out of the equation, the question then becomes, what is next after the war? As a recap, within Alvarez right now, we're essentially beginning to delve more into the past of Natsu and Urza. We actually found out Urza's mother is none other than e.n.d Belsirion, who's the former queen of the dragons. And as for Natsu, we actually received more information when it comes to the past that he lived over 400 years ago, such as a panel dedicated to his death, along with the revelation of his parents. With this in mind, by the end of the Alvarez War, I'm honestly certain that both Natsu and Urza will know all that there is to know about their past, and when it does come down to Eileen and Zeref, I could honestly see something drastic happening that causes them to join sides with Fairy Tail. Something that I think could actually cause this truce of sorts, if you will, is actually the return of Acnologia, a beast that undoubtedly has no chance whatsoever of being taken down single-handedly and will require an immense amount of power to be taken down whatsoever. When Acnologia inevitably returns, I really want to see all of the Dragon Slayers actually go on to take him out, seeing as that's what the purpose of the 400-year plan actually was, along with Zeref and Larcade attempting to take him out. And as well, I would absolutely love to see Eileen get into the mix of that fight. That is, though, if everyone doesn't just join forces and beat the living shit out of Acnologia, which really is another thing that I can actually see happening. But overall, by the end of the Alvarez War, I don't see Acnologia still being alive unless he just doesn't return for the remainder of the arc and we receive a future arc dedicated to him. Speaking of future arcs for Fairy Tail, considering the fact that Fairy Tail will definitely not be ending after Alvarez, I do have a few ideas in mind when it comes to the future arcs of Fairy Tail. Now, for starters, you guys already know that I'm someone who is largely in favor of a third time skip within Fairy Tail, a time skip that is larger than the 1-year training time skip, longer than the 7-year Tenro time skip. This third time skip would lead us to a point where we actually get to see the new generation of Fairy Tail. As well, I personally believe that all of the large ships within Fairy Tail, such as Gruvia, Gale, Jerza, and Nalu, will actually all sail after the war. And if that is to be the case, I have no doubt in my mind that what will follow is a future generation of Fairy Tail. This would truly be an absolutely amazing arc for Fairy Tail, though. However, I don't see it being directly after Alvarez unless Fairy Tail is actually nearing its overall ending, seeing as this arc would ideally be one of, if not the final arc of Fairy Tail. The next arc I actually have in mind is an arc that is fully centered around our main female protagonist, Lucy Heartfilia. But why do I want an arc like this? Well, you have to keep in mind that Aquarius' key is out in the world somewhere, and if Lucy ever wants to have Aquarius by her side again, she needs that gate key. So I would absolutely love to see an arc dedicated to Lucy searching for Aquarius' key, possibly even alongside with the original members of Team Natsu. And lastly, I really want an arc dedicated to Natsu, Larcade, and Zeref. Hands down, these guys are all on my top 5 list when it comes to my favorite characters in all of Fairy Tail, and an arc like this would just be fantastic for someone like me. Now, the premise of this arc would most likely be an attempt to slay God Ank'Sram, the god who cursed Zeref all those years ago. This should actually be done with the end goal of allowing Zeref to die a peaceful death. However, I'm not exactly too sure how that would work with the whole double standard, you know, considering Natsu, seeing as if Zeref dies, Natsu dies as well. But overall, we'll really just have to see when it comes to an arc like that. And that just about wraps it up for today's video. What do you guys think will actually happen after the Alvarez War? Do not forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content. Peace.